Hi, it's Laura Carr, and welcome to my course about creating and implementing a makerspace. So this is our home page. All of the pages have this cute little Lego header to let the students know what type of assignment it is, whether it's an actual assignment or a discussion. And if you scroll down here on the welcome page, we talk about the professional development credit that is available for taking this course, the academic standards that are expected of the librarians, what the expectations are for the discussion board, the technologies that are required, and just how to navigate the course in general. This course is constructivist in nature in that each assignment kind of builds off of each other, and the librarians are learning and creating as they read assignments and work through different activities. Everybody's makerspace is going to look different because each school has different needs depending on the grade level, the amount of budget they have available, the space they have available, etc. So the ultimate goal is that every class, every student in class will have a plan in place that they will be able to take with them and get their makerspace started. It's aimed for both current librarians who already have a makerspace in place, and it will help them to better it and expand it. But we're also getting new librarians next year who will be starting from scratch. And the overall reason that this course exists to begin with is because 3 years ago, Mansfield librarians were told, you need to have a makerspace. And then that's all the explanation they were given. There was no training, there was no explanation, nothing. So these librarians have built what they have from scratch, from their own research, from talking to each other. And everybody's looks different, which is great because no two makerspaces look the same. But it's clear that not everybody really fully understands the concept of what makerspaces truly are and what they could be. And so that's why we designed this course. I designed this course for them. It will be implemented next year for the new librarians coming in and for any current librarians that are interested in taking the course. So here in the modules, the very first module is for the instructors, and it contains the job aid and the design document. I included the job aid as both a Word document and a PDF so that there's flexibility regardless of what type of device you're using. And I also did an inline preview so that the instructor doesn't even have to download anything or leave Canvas in order to read the job aid. The design document looks exactly the same, so we're not going to look at that because we're not going to have time to cover everything. So the goals and objectives in this course, there's 3 goals. The first one is to learn about makerspaces. The second one is to formulate the plan of action. And then the third one is to actually design your makerspace. So by the end, you're set and ready to go. The way this course is designed is so that everybody is successful and everybody has a working plan for makerspace at the end. So any assignments that are not completed to the satisfaction of the rubric, those students will be informed that they need to fulfill all the rubric requirements by the instructor in order to receive credit for that module. There's no grades, there's no, oh, well, you fail. The goal is for everybody to be successful. So we'll talk about just a few little things. I'll pick and choose some things from the modules that I think are the most important to look at. So here in the week 2 module, they have an administrator presentation. So there are requirements listed for both new makerspaces and those who already have an established makerspace and what their presentation needs to obtain. And then there's also a section about time extensions because part of this is arranging time with your administrator to give them the presentation. And anybody that's ever worked with administrators knows that it's very difficult to schedule time with them. So it's explained that we understand that, and then it's up to you to make arrangements in advance And if you need to just send them a digital copy and get feedback that way, that's also acceptable. And then here is an example of what one of the rubrics looked like. As I said before, you either get full marks or no marks. And if at any point no marks is one of the criteria that your instructor marks, you have to finish the assignment and redo it so that it receives all of the credit. And these rubrics were built in to Canvas, which will also help the instructor in the speed grader because they can just go through and click. So let's navigate back up here to the modules. So as they work through the course, at the beginning, it's just readings and discussions on how their perceptions have changed based on the readings. Week 2 is the administrator presentation. Weeks 3 through 4 is kind of where you get into the meat of the tools. So they do assignments where they evaluate different tools that they could potentially use for their Makerspace. They talk about storage, and they have to design how they're going to store everything in their Makerspace and where it's going to be located in their library. And then also the budget, which is kind of a big piece of it. And we talk about if your administrator is giving you a budget, great, go by that. And be sure to include things like shipping, storage containers, batteries, things that need to be replenished like art supplies. And if the administrator has not given them a budget, then they are to create 3 different options based on low, medium, or high funding in order to prioritize what it is that they want to purchase based on different scenarios. That way, when their administrator does get back to them about how much money they have, they've got a plan in place. And again, there's an example of the rubric for that. So back here in the modules, if we keep going, weeks 5 and 6, we talk about access and designing an access plan so that every student has the opportunity to access the Makerspace. One of the issues that I see is that Makerspace time ends up being for the gifted and talented students, and they go down there while everybody else is receiving intervention. But I personally feel I'm very passionate about Makerspaces, and I feel it's very important that every student have an opportunity to access the Makerspace. So this module contains readings about why that's important, and then gives the librarians the assignment to come up with an access plan. And again, it also talks about it may be hard to meet with all of your teachers, so you'll need to, get creative in how you make that happen. Week 7 talks about badges and challenges as kind of incentives and ways to extend what's happening in your Makerspace. And then week 8 discusses how you're going to exhibit the student work and kind of get it out there for the students and the community and the faculty to see so that they can understand the importance of the Makerspace. There's an assignment reflection at the very end that asks the librarians to kind of reflect on their journey and how their perceptions changed and what are their overall feelings, and sort of just kind of like what we've done in this course. What are you looking forward to? What are you unsure of? What do you still need to do? And then last but not least, we have the final survey. It's very short. It's 5 questions. And basically overall, what do you need? Did this course meet all of your needs? If not, what could be done to improve it? And that's it. So hopefully this makes sense. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for your time.